National Assembly leadership has put a section of select committee chairs on the spot over alleged misuse of power and public resources.
Now, at the center of the storm is the Budget and Appropriations Committee, whose term has now lapsed, where funds for public participation, believe it or not, did not reach their constituencies.
With just a day remaining for the National Assembly to conclude on the elections of chairperson and vice chairpersons of 18 select committees whose term has lapsed, a section of former committee chairpersons have been called out of alleged misuse of powers and resources. On Tuesday, a section of MPs decried unfairness and skewed disbursement of funds allocated for public participation under the purview of the Budget and Appropriations Committee, led by Kiharu Member of Parliament Ndindi Nyoro.
A guillotine, Honorable Speaker, was placed on public participation, and which has disadvantaged Vihiga as a county plus other counties, which if they are here, they should speak on this. And the monies that otherwise were put in public participation genuinely, not these other monies that is an addition that is not known where it's going to, where you will find that one constituency is having monies up to 1 billion for public participation. No, Honorable Speaker, that was not part of the real public participation that was instrumented in the Constitution.
The House Leadership Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah and his minority counterpart Junet Mohammed said the Budget and Appropriations Committee had been allocated 2 billion shillings, but was added 10 billion shillings, and the money was diverted.
What is more worrying, Honorable Speaker, is that if the entire 12 billion shillings went to the counties that were slated in for the public participation exercise, then there will be no problem. The problem has come because it is people who have vested interest in those committees where they sit in that then use that opportunity to put projects in their own constituencies and counties far from what was intended by the public participation, Honorable Speaker.
The Budget and Appropriation Committee of this House has reached to the level where the chair of that committee, Mr. Speaker, now, members of Parliament are going to his constituency for benchmarking, Mr. Speaker. Benchmarking. And all of us are supposed to receive the same amount of NGD-CDA, Mr. Speaker. What is making our members to go and benchmark in our colleague's constituency, Mr. Speaker? Because the colleague is receiving more funding because of him being the chairman of the budget committee. Let's be honest to Kenyans. Which member of parliament here can afford through his NGCDF to build classrooms, plaster them, put windows, put roof, put tiles in the classroom, cabros in the... Mr. Speaker, which member of parliament can afford to do that here with a mere resources of 100 million shillings, Mr. Speaker?
As MPs prepare to elect new committee chairs and the vice chairs, call for fairness and accountability prevailed.
We have now reconstituted a new Budget and Appropriations Committee. Let me be on record, it will not be business as usual. This House will not sit back and allow members who sit in the Budget and Appropriations Committee to use the position they hold in that committee to appropriate money to only their constituencies at the expense of other Kenyans.
Members of the National Assembly have pleaded with their counterparts at the Senate and the Council of Governors to allow the county government's additional allocations bill to be passed. The bill flopped last year after senators amended it, adding 10 billion shillings for roads and maintenance levy fund. For Prime Edition, I'm Gladys Mongai.